I invite you to make your way back to your mat. Relax in Shavasana. I'll ring my chimes to signal the beginning of our class. And just relax on your mat and begin to feel the body where it meets the mat, leaving any cares or concerns you may have, perhaps in an imaginary basket outside the door of the room that you're in. And just take a nice big cleansing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth as you relax and settle in, letting go of what came before this moment, what will follow, and just settling in to the present moment. Begin to tune in to your breath. On your inhale, feel cool air moving through your nasal passages. Perhaps you'll feel it in the back of your throat, maybe in your chest or even in your belly. And on your exhale, just notice the air has been warmed by your body, and just follow the breath just like it's a wave. On the inhale, inhale the air in, and on the exhale, exhale the air out. Your body knows how to breathe, so just be an observer. Just feel the breath on the inhale, filling up the lungs, bringing fresh oxygen to all the cells in the body. And on the exhale, feel the air move out, perhaps a little warmer. And just continue following the breath in, following the breath all the way out. So our focus today is going to be on flow. So as we move through our practice, we'll maybe think of that idea of flowing. So kind of moving with ease and moving fluidly, just allowing the body to come into the shapes, come into the asanas. That's A-S-A-N-A-S, asanas, which means like the postures. So allowing the body just to come into the shapes, just kind of fluidly without forcing anything. Okay, so let's, need to adjust my screen. So we'll float our arms up over our heads, as we usually do. And we'll extend through our fingertips, and maybe we'll kind of move the shoulders up towards the ears, like alternating left shoulder towards left ear, right shoulder towards right ear, almost as if we're climbing up a ladder. So kind of inching our way up the ladder, extending through our fingers on each reach that we make. And then with our feet, let's just rotate the ankles around and then flex and point. Flex and point the toes. Flex and point the toes. And then let's walk up the ladder again with the arms, alternating, reaching left, reaching right, inching up the ladder, really stretching through the body. So stretch out through the fingertips and now point the toes and stretch out through the toes and out through the fingertips and come into a nice lengthening stretch. And then release to your mat. And then bend your legs and float your arms down by your side. And we'll just come into windshield wiper knees. So we'll just drop the knees to the right, inhale them up to center, drop them to the left. So just flow with this, move at your own pace. Feel the hip joints waking up, lubricating those joints, and using the breath as you make your movements. So inhaling the knees up and exhaling them down. And just continue moving the knees back and forth. And then the next time your knees come to center, bring them to stillness. And we'll bring the knees into the air, so the knees towards the chest. We'll interlace the fingers behind the head, and the elbows are out wide, and we're going to bicycle here. So we're going to extend the right leg long as we bring the right elbow towards the left knee, and then switch, bring the left elbow towards the right knee. So engage your core, keep the elbows wide, except when you're bringing your elbow to your knee, and just use your core muscles, use your breath. Do as many bicycles as is comfortable for your body. Feel a little heat building. And when you're done, just bring your arms up over your head, float your arms up over your head. And again, just move the knees from left to right, inhaling them back up to center, exhaling them down, kind of rocking the hips in this motion. Using the breath, thinking about just flowing with ease. And then we'll float the arms back down by the sides, by our hips. We'll send the right leg out long and bring the left knee into the chest, clasping in front of the shin. And just on each exhalation, draw the knee in a little closer. And notice whether your shoulders are relaxed, whether your facial muscles are relaxed. Press into the back of the right leg for grounding. Each exhalation, just bring that knee in a little closer. And then take that left knee out wide towards the shoulder or towards the armpit. And continue just drawing the knee in towards the body. So we're getting a nice stretch in the left hip flexor here. And then let's just bring the knee, bring a little motion to the knee. So we'll bring the knee back to center, and then we'll bring it out wide towards the shoulder again. And just notice how, and bring it back to center, and notice how the hip flexor is feeling. Is there any tightness? Does the hip get stuck any place? And this is just good information just to know the body and know that, each day the body feels probably just a little bit different. So, this might be a day where you're feeling tightness, or your body might feel kind of good. Okay, send the left leg out long, bring the right knee in towards the chest. We'll do the same thing, just draw the knee in towards the chest on your exhalations, pressing into the back of the left leg for stability. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Just squeeze that right knee in on your exhalations. Now bring your knee out wide towards the shoulder and continue squeezing it in. Using the breath. Noticing how this hip flexor feels. And then returning the knee to center and then bring it out wide. So bring a little bit of movement, some fluidity to that right knee, right hip. And notice how it feels. And the next time your knee comes to center, bring both knees in towards your chest, hug them in towards your chest, placing your hands on your kneecaps. Make some small circles on the ceiling with your knees. And gradually increase the size of your circles. So we're massaging the back here, still bringing some lubrication to our hip joints. Gradually make your circles nice and big. And when you get nice big circles, make them kind of loose so you can really feel the massage in the shoulders and the upper back. And then bring your knees to stillness at some point whenever you're ready and reverse your circle. So make big, big loose circles going the opposite direction. And then come to medium circles, massaging that mid-back, and then spiral down to small circles, massaging the lower back. And then eventually bringing yourself to stillness and either turning to your side and pushing yourself up or bringing your hands behind your thighs and rocking up. And if you decide to rock up, perhaps stop in half boat or boat. So this is half boat with the legs bent, and full boat or regular boat with the arms and legs extended. Just balancing on the sit bones. And then I'm going to bring my blanket up and sit on the edge. And so we'll just come to a nice, easy pose. So sukha means easy in Sanskrit. So sukhasana, so easy pose. So we'll just come into a cat-cow flow here. So our hands are on our knees and we'll inhale as we gaze up for cow and exhale, rock back, bring our chin to our chest for cat. So we'll just continue using our breath, rocking forward, rocking back, using our breath. So let me see if I can admit. Sorry, people. Okay, hi, Charlene. All righty. So just continue with your cat-cow. Use the breath. And then bring yourself to stillness. And we'll come into a twist here. So we're going to inhale the arms up, gaze up at the fingertips. On the exhale, twist right. Bring your hands down, sitting up nice and tall. So we'll come into a flow here. Inhale to center, exhale left as you bring your hands down. Inhale to center, exhale right. Nice tall spine. Inhale to center, exhale left. One more time. Inhale to center, exhale right, and then just bring yourself back to center. We'll take our right arm out long, the palm facing towards the ceiling, and we'll sweep that arm up over our head, placing our hand on our left ear, drop our right ear towards our right shoulder, and then walk the left hand away from our body. So we'll get a nice stretch on the left side of our neck. Without pulling, just be mindful of the neck. And then release gently. And then turn the left palm so it's facing the ceiling, arm extended out. Sweep the hand up over your head. Place your hand on your right ear. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then walk your right fingertips away so you feel a nice stretch down the right side of your neck. And be gentle with this. And then release. And we'll just bring our shoulders up towards our ears, back and down. So we'll just come into a little flow with our shoulders, using our breath, inhaling up, exhaling back, inhaling up, and exhaling back. And then we'll reverse directions. Just notice how your shoulders are feeling, using your breath. One more time around. Great. Okay, we're going to move to table now. So if you need a blanket under your knees or a towel, think about having something ready as we begin our practice. Some people like a little towel. I'm going to use a little blanket under my knees just for the fun of it today. All right, so coming into table, our wrists are right underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips, and we'll come into a flow. So we're going to inhale as we drop the belly and look up or look forward, and then we'll exhale and round the back, pushing away from the mat, and then push with the hands. So we push ourselves back so we're sitting on our heels, and drop our elbows to the mat, and then trace the mat with the nose as we come forward for cow, gazing up on the inhale. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, really push away from the mat. Sit back on the heels, kind of pushing yourself back towards your heels. Drop your elbows. Come forward, gazing up. Round the back, pushing away from your mat. So continue with this little flow on your own. Just notice how different parts of the body are feeling. Maybe take one more round. And then come back to table. We're going to come into a cat balance. We haven't done cat balance for a while. So we'll extend the right leg, flexing the foot, extend the left fingertips forward, and engage the core. Push away from the mat with the right hand. And then instead of stopping here, we're just going to tap the right toes down to the mat and then lift them back up. We'll come into a little bit of a flow here. So tap the right toes down onto the mat and then lift them up. We'll do that one more time. Tap the right toes on the mat and lift them up. Return hand and knee back to the mat. And then we'll send the left leg out, flexing the foot. Send the right fingertips forward. Engage your core. And then tap the left toes down on the mat. Lift them up. Tap them down again. Lift them up. Tap them down again. Lift them up. And then bring the knee and the hand back to the mat. We're going to come into a lunge here. So we'll bring our right foot forward. Walk the left knee back a little bit. We're going to take the right hand and bring it on the inside, the instep of the right foot. And so press into the mat with the right hand, press into the mat with the right foot, and then inhale the left arm so that the fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling. For a little twist here. So pressing into the shoelaces of the left foot. And you can press the elbow of the right elbow into the calf or into the leg, the right leg. And then return that left hand to the mat. Bring the right foot back. Now let's bring the left foot to the front of the mat. Take the left hand to the instep of the left foot. Walk the right knee back. And then inhale the right arm, fingertips towards the ceiling for a little twist. Pressing that elbow into the left thigh or wherever your knee and left arm meet. And then release down. Bring that left foot back so that you're in table again. And we'll come into plank. So you can either come into full plank or half plank. So I'll do half plank first. So we want to walk the knees back, press into the back of all 10 knuckles. So we want like a nice straight spine from crown of the head to the knees. So the whole length of the spine nice and long. And we're going to come into a side plank. So if you're in half plank, what you'll do is you'll bring that left leg out and bring the right foot to the mat, if you recall that posture. If you're in full plank, we're going to roll to the pinky side of our toe. So full plank like this, pressing in to the mat with the hands, pressing into the heels, and then we'll just roll to the side of our foot and bring our right hand into the air for side plank. And then we'll bring that hand down to the mat. We'll go to the other side. And bring that hand down to the mat. Come back to our knees. So hopefully you followed that. And we'll come to our table, curling our toes under and come into down dog. So press into the back of all 10 knuckles, or you can try clawing at the mat, so kind of pressing in to the pads of the fingers, of the fingertips, and kind of thinking of a claw shape with the hand. That might take pressure off the wrists for you. And then press in to, or press the backs of the thighs and the backs of the calves towards the back of the mat. And the heels don't need to touch the mat. And we'll just rest here for a moment. And then we're going to walk our feet towards our hands. And we'll come into Tadasana. So our feet are about hip width apart, rocking from side to side, lifting through the kneecaps and the thighs, standing up nice and tall, extending through the crown, feeling the strength in this mountain pose. We're going to come to Warrior Two now. So we'll take the left foot so that the left toes are facing the short end of the mat, and the right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale the arms up, exhale and bend the front knee. We'll gaze out over that middle front finger. Use the breath. So inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper. Notice if your body is balanced so that you're extending through your fingertips, like extend the fingertips away from each other. Notice if your front knee is collapsing. You don't want it to collapse to the middle. You want to keep the knee over the ankle. If the back foot is nice and strong. And then we're going to come into a little flow here. So we'll drop the back hand to the thigh and ballerina arm, that left arm up overhead, keeping that front knee bent. And then we'll flow back to warrior two. Take a breath. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Drop the back hand to the thigh, ballerina arm, that left arm overhead. Front knee still bent. Bring yourself back to warrior two. We'll take reverse warrior one more time. So drop the back hand to the back thigh, ballerina arm, that top arm. Come back up to warrior two. Float your arms down. Turn your feet parallel to one another. And then we'll take it to the other side. So we'll turn the right toes so that they're facing the short end of the mat. And the hips are facing the long end of the mat. Okay, back foot is parallel to the back end of the mat. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend the front knee. Relax the shoulders. Notice if they're up near the ears. Relax them away. Extend the fingertips away from each other and gaze out over that middle front finger. Keep the breath flowing. Come into a little flow here. Drop the back hand to the back thigh. Ballerina arm, that right arm up overhead. Gazing at the elbow crease of the upper arm. And then flow back to warrior two. Keep the breath flowing. Drop the back hand, ballerina arm, the top arm. Flow back to warrior two. Keep that front knee bent. Extend through those fingertips. Drop the back hand again. Reverse warrior. Come back to warrior two. Float the arms down. Turn the feet parallel. And we'll interlace the fingers behind us and really squeeze the shoulder blades together to open the chest and the heart center. Inhale, and on your next exhale, float forward. Keep going, going, going. And the hands will come off the back. The head, the crown of the head will reach towards the earth. Now use the strength of the legs to bring yourself back up. And then we'll unlace our hands and heel toe our feet together. And we're going to inhale the arms up, turn the palms away from each other as we exhale and swan dive forward, forward, forward. The knees can be bent a little bit here. And then press into the front, the shins, as you come up for a nice half forward fold, a nice flat back. Then exhale down, placing your hands on either side of your feet. Bring yourself down to the mat, onto your back. So with the legs bent, walk the feet in close to your bottom. And the hands are on the mat. palms are down, and we'll come into a flowy bridge here. So heels are kind of almost grazing your fingertips. So bring them in nice and close to your bottom. And on an inhale, lift the hips and arms and float the arms up overhead. Extend through those fingertips. And then on an exhale, float the arms back down, float the hips back down to the earth. And we'll just continue with this flow. So the knees are about hip width apart. And just continue using your breath and flowing. And see when you come up to the top of the bridge, if you can really push in to the soles of your feet and lift the hips up. And then exhale, float the arms and the hips down. We'll continue maybe 2 more rounds. So push into the feet, lift the hips, float the arms up overhead. Exhale down. And the next time when we come to the top of the bridge, so press into the feet, lift the hips up. So stay in bridge. And if you'd like, you can bring your arms down, but keep the hips up at bridge. And see if you can support your hips with your hands. So spread the thumb and index finger and see if you can just kind of, almost like you were standing with your hands on your hips, and lift the hips up as you press into your feet, resting, you're resting on your elbows, but actively keeping the hips up, pressing into the feet. So you can feel your bottom tightening, so you're using the strength of your legs and your bottom, your glutes. And then take your hands away from the hip area and slowly lower your bottom to the mat. We'll bring our knees to our chest and we'll rock from side to side, making some circles on the ceiling with our knees again. And just make the size circle that reaches the area in your back that you'd like to massage. So whatever part of the back, maybe the lower back, small circles, or mid back or upper back. Or maybe you want to massage the whole entire back. So small, medium, and large circles. And then we're going to bring our feet to the mat and then bring the knees to the chest and send the feet up towards the ceiling. So flex the feet for waterfall. So we have to use our abs a little bit here. And then if you'd like, you can reach the outer edge of each of your feet and spread your knees wide for happy baby. And you can even rock from side to side here. And then when you're ready, you can bring your feet to the mat and either keep the knees bent with the knees supporting one another, so the knees are leaning on one another, or come into regular Shavasana with the legs extended long, toes pointing towards the edges of the mat, arms away from the body with palms facing up. And just take a nice deep breath here. The biggest breath that you've taken all day. And then a big exhale as you settle the shoulders into the mat. Feel the back body settling into the mat. And so begin to settle in, making yourself completely comfortable, noticing how the body feels, and just follow the flow of the breath, almost as if it's a wave. Notice the inhale. Notice where the breath changes to an exhale. And on each exhalation, allow the body to sink a little deeper. Just thinking of moving with ease and going with the flow. I'm going to ring my bowl here. And I invite you to stay right where you are, but perhaps bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. May you go with the flow as you move throughout your day. Namaste. Good.